At some point in time, saying no to things is more important and more powerful than saying yes to everything. They own my company, but not my values. People have invested in my company, but not on my values. My value stays my values. Of course, I am jealous. What do you think? I'm not. I am jealous because I am human. I look at basically people getting rich very quick, and people going and talking in Davos. People basically buying a second house, and I'm looking at my bank balance, and I'm saying, oh wow, can I run my payroll? Freedom to do what I want to do is more important, and that is the structural thing I'm building into the system that I'm building.
Innovation is not accidental, and our next guest is living proof. Mr. Shekhar Natarajan holds 207 plus patents, not because he is smarter than everyone else, but because he has built a system for asking questions nobody else thinks to ask. Over 25 years at Coca-Cola, Walmart, PepsiCo, Disney, he did not just execute strategy, he rewrote it. Supply chain innovations, logistics transformations, technologies that became industry standards. But here is what caught my attention. He left all of it to build Orchestro AI and something called Angelic Intelligence. AI that does not just optimize for outcomes, but optimizes for values. Is this the future of AI? Or is this a brilliant technologist building a solution for a problem the market does not want yet? India has a 5-year window. He says to build AI on its own terms or import California's values forever. That's not nationalism, that's strategy. Today we find out if he is early or if he is right. Mr. Shekhar Natarajan, founder and CEO of Orchestro AI, the business technologist betting India's AI future on virtue, not just velocity. Mr. Shekhar, welcome to today's interview. So how are you feeling today?
Very good. Excellent. Thank you so much for asking.
Amazing energy you are having. So Mr. Shekhar, as we all know that you hold 207 patents, 25 years experience and Fortune 500 credibility. So you could have easily sold any of this to the highest bidder and retired rich. But instead, you are building Orchestro AI, which might succeed or which might can fail. So, are you an entrepreneur or are you running from something?
Let me be honest and say that I'm actually running from something.
Okay.
Interesting. So I've had a great life. So I come from slums in India. Literally, growing up, we were living in a single room, eight people in the house. My father used to make 175 rupees a month actually, not a day, and so life has been super beautiful for me, and I have grown in my life. I have taken on more responsibilities. I have probably received many different accolades outside for the contributions that I've made, and every time I got a new title, I made more money. Every time basically I got more accomplishments, I felt really good in myself. But it made me more emptier after a while. Titles didn't actually mean anything to me because I was feeling more lonely at the top. And so that sense of emptiness, I was trying to figure out what is that all about. And I came to realization that I was actually not following a vision, I was following validation. Okay. I wanted people to see me as successful. And in doing all of this, I figured that I have to run away from that. I want to run away from the prison of success without meaning, right? Because success begins to feel like a prison. In a prison, you're lonely. You're talking to yourself. There's no one to share, right? So that felt more depressing to me than the fun that I'm having today. I'm trying to build a company which mimics what good humans do. And so I'm able to now focus on the vision of my life. My vision of my life is to take all of the beautiful things that my father did, my mother did, like everyone who came in my life did, and replicate that so the world becomes a better place to live for my son, for every kid out there. And so that is what I'm running towards. I'm running towards meaning. So my entrepreneurial journey is not about seeking the next exit. My entrepreneurial journey is to seek meaning in life. And I believe if I seek meaning in life, that will be a better outcome for me and for the world. Of course, I'll be, I don't know if I'm going to be successful or not, but at least I know I made an effort and I led a purposeful life.
Okay, that's interesting. So now I would like to ask you an uncomfortable question. Like, is Orchestro AI solving real problem, or is it solving the problem which you wish existed? Because most founders are built for themselves, not the market.
That's probably $1 trillion question. So the reason why I say it's $1 trillion question, because we as entrepreneurs all want to build solutions we want the world to have. Okay? And I want to believe that a small business cares about humanity and dignity, right? That dignity is more important than price, right? I also want to believe that market is going to reward values and not just profit. So do I think that is the rational behavior that I should expect? Yes. But is the world irrational? Absolutely. So that's why I say I don't know yet. I don't know if what I'm building is going to be truly successful. But I do know something based on all the experiences I've had. My brother was rescued by a lot of people who came from Pakistan. Okay? And one gentleman who actually was very close to my brother, who rescued my brother, used to tell, Niyat nek hai to manzil aasan hai.
Yes.
If your intentions are beautiful, God will create and manifest in your life.
Yeah, success will come to you.
So I want to believe if I set my intention to uplift people who are invisible in this world and get them to become more visible so that they can unleash their true potential. So that way a mother doesn't have to pawn her toe ring to get education for someone. The father doesn't have to basically give away the cycle that he is, kind of moving on because his friend needs it more than he does. Or like someone who basically has come into your life and said, I look at this guy and he has potential, though his resume says he doesn't. And calls me when I'm sleeping on my brother's couch and offers me my first job. That's my chief operating officer today, who's actually working for my company. And he did that in 2004 when I did not have a job and I could have been kicked out of America. Okay? So beautiful people come in your life. What I figured is if your intentions are great, great things will manifest. Yes. And so I want to believe in that. And I also want to know, having lived in the world of supply chain is all about, and businesses are all about pattern recognition. You have to recognize the pattern in the world. If you're able to predict the pattern, you can, predict the outcome. Once you predict the outcome, you know what actions you need to take. So I don't think the world wants this. I think the world needs this. Yes. Imagine the disinformation that is going around. We are we are afraid of our own shadow today. The world is so polarized. Nationalism on the rise. Everyone hates the other guy. anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, like immigration problems. Everyone is like, lighting the other guy on fire. Everyone is trying to lynch the other guy. The world is becoming more dysfunctional. Like, it feels like eerie close to what happened during World War II.
Yeah.
We are on that precipice. So the hate index of the world has just skyrocketed. Would it not be cool to have a human index which actually makes this a normal society? And I think that is the need. That is not a want. And I want to build that need. Because sometimes people recognize what dignity means only when they see it.
Yeah.
You want to build it so that people get hungry for it. And that's what I'm doing.
So now I would like to ask you a very interesting question. Let's talk about money. What if Saudi sovereign wealth funds calls tomorrow and billions are on the table, but their AI will be used for surveillance and control things that violate everything Angelic Intelligence stands for? So do you take the money, or what will be your take on this situation?
Well, it's a tricky question. And it's not $1 trillion question, it's something even bigger than that. Like my son will say Google. Yeah, he'll say like I ask him how much do you love me? He says Google power Google. I said how did you know Google is big number? He said someone told me that. So something like that. So there are two choices in the thing you mentioned. The version A means that you stay pure and you become broke, which is don't take the money. The second version is sell yourself out, forget virtue gaya tel lene, right? Paisa le lo aur paisa bana lo, right? So that is a capitalistic world. Both of these assume a certain structure, and I know, having lived in the capitalistic world, investors look for returns. Everyone will look for it. Even if I go to family offices, they'll all look for the returns. So I knew that this is a question that I'm going to face. And so I wanted to break the structure and not follow the norm. So let me tell you how that works. I decided to create a foundation. So 100% of the equity that I have in the company will go to the foundation, and that foundation is for human good. So public controls it. I don't control it. Okay? But the investor is investing in the company for the returns. So I return the shareholder value, which happens to be the investor's value, and I can still take the money from the Saudi guys if they ask me to. And I can give them a profitable return, but the valuation benefit is accrued to people, not to me. And that is a conscious choice I made, and my family and I have talked about it at quite length, because people think I'm a crazy guy. Why will I make all that money to give it away? Right? Why am I not keeping the generational wealth? Because I don't believe in generational wealth. I believe in generational goodness. If I was able to succeed despite the poverty I came from, my son is very capable of living in a world that is far more comfortable than I had, and make a killing of itself. So now the question is, what happens if surveillance, if someone asks me to surveil people? I will draw the line and say, hell no. At some point in time, saying no to things is more important and more powerful than saying yes to everything. Because I know, in my case, they own my company, but not my values. People have invested in my company, but not on my values. My value stays my values. So I'm not going to violate my value at all. And so that is very differentiated from the way the traditional companies behave. I'm not saying my fellow founders are all weak. they got bought by the investor, so they have to, live by the investor rules. But I don't have to live by the investor rules, because my money is not my money. Like, my equity is is people good. It is going to be diverted there. So no one owns me in that case, right? So that is the beauty of the structure that I have contemplated and built in. So I thought about this and I built protections before I started the journey and not after the fact. So that is why I feel more comfortable about money coming from capitalistic sources, building the company, because you cannot build a great company with no money. Period. वो नहीं होगा. Like, you can have all the altruistic, beautiful thoughts in the world, but अगर आपके पास पैसा नहीं रहेगा, तो कोई भी आपको घास नहीं डालेगा. Money is everything. So you got to play the game with the card that you're dealt with, and this is the card that is dealt with. But I'm going to follow my own set of rules. You follow whatever you want. Structure में confine नहीं कर सकते मुझे. So my structure is this, and that makes it very powerful. This is how even OpenAI started. OpenAI started as a non-profit, but because they could not build, they became a for-profit company. Now see what kind of monster we have created. They got so greedy, right? Sam Altman was on a webinar with one of his investors and Satya Nadella. And he was asked a very simple question. You're making $13 billion in revenue, and you're investing $1.3 trillion. How can you even explain your logic? Your revenue is far lesser, almost 1,000 times less than the investment that you're making. How are you going to make up for that? And the guy's answer was monstrous. He said, Scott, if you don't like the investment, I can short sell you, and there are so many people standing in line to buy the OpenAI stocks. That is hubris. That is arrogance. And we have created that kind of a system. That fellow did not emerge out of something. We created that system for him to behave like that way. And so I think I don't want to be trapped into the same set of... When I saw that, I said, I don't want to be that guy. I want to do something good, but I don't want to be that guy. Sometimes people show you the mirror and you see what you don't want to see. And I saw that guy and I said, I don't want to be that guy. And so the structural way is the way of the future, the structure I'm thinking. And that's where I think it gives me the freedom to exhibit myself and my creativity in a way that is going to solve the human problem and not have to be constrained by not having capital.
So Mr. Shekhar, your competitors, the ones building profit-first AI, they are getting rich right now. Exits, IPOs, billion-dollar valuations, you are building virtue layers. So do you feel jealous of them? Because if I would be in your place, I would feel jealous.
Of course I'm jealous. What do you think? I'm not. I am jealous because I am human. I look at basically people getting rich very quick, and people going and talking in Davos. People basically buying a second house, and I'm looking at my bank balance, and I'm saying, oh wow, can I run my payroll? Right? It's a very traumatizing feeling. But what I figured is that jealousy is still a data point. Right? Jealousy is data. And the reason why they're able to be the way they are is they're free. They have freedom. So I am trying to take the essence of freedom that these guys have, not the data. Jealousy nahi. I'm focused on what is making them who they are. They're free from all the burdens, and I want to capture that and incorporate that into the company and the technology I'm building. So for me, the freedom to do what I want to do is more important. And that is the structural thing I'm building into the system that I'm building. Am I making sense to you?
Yeah, that's nice. I like the fact that you are like open and blunt. So, like, as we all know that every startup faces this moment, either save the company or save the mission, fire the team to extend runway, or keep values and run out of money. When Orchestro AI faces that choice, then what will you pick in that situation?
Because of the very same reason I explained to you, because I think, like, if I have to, I feel like company is the vehicle and mission is the destination, and if I have to burn the vehicle to get to the destination, I will do that all day long. Because what I believe is you cannot sacrifice what you believe in. You can never do that in life, because then it, like, there's no purpose in life. So for me, I feel the mission is very critical, because AI without any guardrails, AI without any ethical behavior, AI that cannot explain itself, AI that is not safe, AI that cannot be, like, trusted, is far more dangerous than, like, Orchestro itself. Orchestro एक छोटा सा कंपनी है जिसका थॉट है कि वो दुनिया को बदल सके. बट ये थॉट जो है, मैंने ये सीखा है कि अगर आपके दिमाग में कोई थॉट है, वो सिर्फ आपके दिमाग में नहीं है, बहुत लोगों के दिमाग में भी होता है. यूनिवर्स सीड्स द सेम थॉट इन मेनी पीपल्स माइंड. एंड सो आई वुड लव टू सी द थिंकिंग कम टू लाइफ. I want the mission to be successful. And I believe if the mission is successful, then the promise that I made to my son is still met. Because the company's mission is to leave the world in a better place for kids like my son. If someone else is going to fulfill that dream, I'm happy with it. दुनिया अच्छा रहना चाहिए, चाहे, like, I'm not the guy who's creating it. So ideas can die, but mission and should be alive.
And whoever is accomplishing that mission,
God give them all the power to make it successful.
That's very interesting. And you're also talking about your son again and again. I think, so could you please tell us about him? Like, as you said that he is also very curious to Google you every time.
Yeah. So, I think it's very interesting that, like, kids his age are so digital friendly. This fellow, like, knew the pattern of, like, the phone, like, all the keypad to unlock my phone at age 2. मुझे फ़ोन था बोल के पता भी नहीं था वो टाइम पे. Like when I was 2 years old, I did not even know what a phone looked like. It used to look like a brick. घर में फ़ोन आता था, and then you go run, like, and basically go talk, and we didn't have a phone for, like, the longest period. 2003 में आया था हमारे घर में landline connection. Okay, so now, like, what will he find about me? What I want him to find about me is not what the world thinks about me. I want him to find about what makes me who I am. Okay, that is more important for me. I want him to know that I'm a nervous wreck. I want him to know that basically, like, I am terrified that whether this is going to be successful or not. I want him to know that I have anxiety that 70 families like ours depend on my decisions on a day in and day out basis. So I am obligated to make all the good decisions every point in time without making a single mistake. That's the curse and the burden I carry every day, right? And as the company continues to grow, I have to keep up that kind of cultural framework all points in time. ये मेरा ज़ाया में रहना चाहिए हमेशा. That is, like, the biggest problem I have. And so I want him to know that, like, I am a fear, like, I am terrified as a guy. I have fear, I have anxiety, I have paranoia, I have all kinds of vulnerabilities, and I want him to know my raw self, right? Because that is my complete human portrayal. बाकी जो गूगल में मिलेगा वो बेसिकली जो लोगों ने लिखा है कि बंदे ने ये कर दिया, बंदे के पास इतना पैसा है, इतना अवार्ड है, ये टाइटल है, वो तो सब अच्छा ही लिखते हैं ना. Who wants to put bad things out in the web? Only good things get captured. So I want him to know the good and the bad and all of the things about me, everything, because I believe fear and courage are not two sides of the coin. Courage is about being terrified and still pursuing the journey, knowing that you're going to fail. That is courage.
Yeah, that was really touchy and emotional.
So, Mr. Shekhar, you say small businesses deserve dignity, infrastructure, visibility. But here is what I want to know, like, what if they don't care about dignity? What if the Kirana store owner just wants the cheapest option and does not give a damn about your virtue framework? So, do you still serve them in that situation?
See, no one cared about free trade coffee when there was no trade. Okay. No one cared about the fact that you could go extract jewelry from a place where there is war, blood diamonds. Okay. Because people don't know what the definition of dignity is till you show them what it is. You know, and I'll give you some examples. The world's largest retailer, and I'll let you imagine who that is for a second. World's largest retailer. Okay. It takes $200,000 for a local farmer to have all of the systems in place and get registered to do business with them. Okay. But a guy in DOM can create a $1 trillion app called Meta. The world of digitization has created ability to do business from anywhere, but we still are penalizing the small guys from doing business, right? Because logistics is not available to them, technology capabilities is not available to them. So I want to show what dignity means to them. I want them to know that basically I care about them. I want them to know like the access that they are going to get is as good or better, just like the way I got it. I was a very invisible guy. I was living in slums, right? And luckily, I built this mechanical Ganesha, which became very popular in my slum. And someone basically kept chattering about it, and one professor from Usmania University came, looked at it and said, wow, this fellow is building mechanical Ganesha. And I was at age 11. तो उन्होंने आके मेरे माँ को बोल दिया कि इसको इंजीनियर बना दो. तब तक मेरे घर में सब लोग बोल रहे थे तू डॉक्टर बन भाई. राइट. तो फिर मेरे माँ ने बोला कि ये डॉक्टर शामराज ने बोला कि आपको इंजीनियर बनना है तो आपको इंजीनियर ही बनना है. तो चिपका दिया उनके साथ. तो उन्होंने मेरे को स्कॉलरशिप दिया, उन्होंने मुझे गाइड किया, सब कुछ किया, राइट. आई वाज अ वेरी इनविजिबल गाय, बट व्हाट ही गेव मी वाज टू अंडरस्टैंड माय पोटेंशियल. ही मेड मी रियलाइज व्हाट माय डिग्निटी इज. एंड समटाइम्स इट इज बेस्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड, हम लोग का सबका इमिग्रेंट मेंटालिटी होता है, राइट. वी गेट ट्रैप्ड एंड इट टेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम फॉर अस to cross that chasm. When you know that the context that you're living in is not the reality out there in the world. So I want to believe that the Kirana store, when showed that basically there is a better world for them, they can be more successful and they can be still more humanic, I think they're going to go for it. I think that there are longer term relationships which are going to get created because you care about people. Care will translate into loyalty. Loyalty translates into trust. Trust translates into pricing power. Yeah. That is what makes all brands today, because they have earned the trust. In the digital world, where there is no trust, which is the biggest flaw that artificial intelligence has, how do you replicate what a brand is? You have to build trust. And to build trust, you need to make sure the decisions coming out of these systems are human-centric. So that's where I see naturally all systems evolving. And that's where I see like all brands being relevant in the future. So whether it's a kirana store, whether it's a neighborhood like business, whether it's like a farmer, I think everyone deserves dignity, and we are going to unleash that into the world, and I think we're going to be successful.
Oh, that's great. All the best wishes.
So now I want to know the most ruthless business decision you have ever made in your life. Not the one you are very proud of, the one that worked but costed you something. What was it? How was the experience?
I regret the fact that when I made the decision, I did not regret.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so that happens quite often, by the way, when you live in the business world, because you don't understand that you can be that person, that you can be that soul who does not have any empathy. So I literally fired many of my founding members, not because they were unethical, not because they were not good, because they were not great. And the company needed better. And so these are the guys who started the company with me early days. They believed in the vision, they believed in the mission. We all were rowing in the same boat. And then we figured that they were not good enough to scale the company. And when you think about those kinds of scenarios, do you think about friendship, or do you think about 70 lives that rely on you? Do you think about that one family, or do you think about the 70 families that rely on you? 70 families, of course. So when you're faced with that kind of dilemma, what do? Right? You have to figure out how to make a decision that is going to help the 70 families. And so I saw people pack the bags, leave, and I had tears in my eyes, but I could not express that I'm going to miss them. So I regret being that person, right? But I had to be that person because I did not feel twice about making that choice, because it was for the betterment of the company. Sometimes the best decisions that you take are also emotionally very difficult decisions you make. And you need to know when to make those calls. The faster you make them, the better it is. Because the entanglement of all of these continue much into the future, and it is going to be much more dangerous if you don't take that.
This was also very inspirational to hear that you need to choose that difficult phase.
Now you need to pick one option, India or America. If you had to choose one forever, build there, live there, bet your company's future there, which one will you choose? And you can't choose both. You need to pick one.
My heart says India, my mind says US. I guess it's very simple. I think despite all of the things the rhetoric you hear in the news about how the world has regressed in US, I think it's still a beautiful place. It is a capitalistic land. Access to cash and capital is high. Access to talent is amazing. So is in India. But I think structurally, if you're able to tap into the capital structures and build a very efficient business and scale that business and figure out all of the unit economics and figure out all of the experimentation there, and then come to India and basically then deploy that solution here with the Indian context and build it further, I think that would be the best use of capital and resources to do so. Because fundamentally in India, we don't have access to that kind of structure yet, right? So I want India to win, and the way I'm going to make India win is basically through a strategy that is very much pragmatic, practical hai ye. I don't want to basically assume that the capital structure in India is going to be conducive for what I'm trying to build. It's not, right? So the type of money and the type of cash and availability that exists in US is much higher. Plus, I call US my home, right? I've lived there 25 years. the country has been super good to me, right? Whether they were hardcore conservatives, Republicans, or whether they were Democrats, whether they were like transgender people, whether they were like, you know, LGBTQ. I had like all kinds of leaders who led me, by the way. ये सारे थे मेरे. Caucasians, like African Americans, सारे मेरे like bosses थे. Like this guy, like I had a boss who was a West Point graduate. Okay, I had a boss who was a second in command in naval forces. Right? So I had extraordinary leaders who led me, and they had like all different, like they came from all different colors of life, but they only believed in me. They gave me an opportunity, and they made me who I am as a person. So I obviously am obligated to US, right? But India is where my mom was born, my dad was born, I lived my 25 years of my life. So I cannot let go of India as well. So I want to see both these places prosperous. And if I'm able to do something strategically, the way I'm talking, access the cash, build the framework, and then basically launch it here, that would be my ideal scenario.
Yeah, you explained very nicely, like all the newcomers who wants to build career, they can, you know, get the idea there after living in US, and then they can use all the ideas here in India. So it will be a very nice idea for them who will be doing.
Well, you know, 2001 mein beta, like when I went to India, like, you know, it was very different at that time. You know, like in those days, like, you know, the best companies you can work for, you know, was TCS, Cognizant, Infosys, like, you know, sweatshops, tech shops, right? And like there was not a lot of like entrepreneurial opportunity. Look at India now. सब जगह में जहाँ पे भी जाओ, like entrepreneur है, पैसा ही पैसा है, सब कुछ है. Like, you know, the country is much more vibrant, you know, thanks to Modi ji and like all of the economic policies and everyone preceding him and everything that happened in this country. I think we are in a different place, but I think something as grand as what I'm talking about still needs the capital structure that US provides.
But still a lot of change has happened.
Absolutely. Like go any city, right? Like I remember when I used to take like, you know, I used to live in Hyderabad, right? Begumpet mein airport tha, right, close to my house. Okay, and it was worse than a regional airport. सिर्फ एक ही रनवे है, एक ही फ्लाइट आ सकता है, एक ही फ्लाइट जा सकता है. 4 फ्लाइट आते थे दिन के. अभी हैदराबाद एयरपोर्ट जाओ शमशाबाद में, इतने सारे फ्लाइट आते हैं, like you feel giddy about all the flights. It is going to Madurai, it is going everywhere. कहाँ तो जा रहा है flights. So the country has evolved so much, like the infrastructure has evolved so much. Beautiful things have happened. Beautiful things have happened. And much better things can happen. But if you're able to create an experimentation land and innovation land, a world of innovation is US.
Yeah, we can't deny the fact that India is still progressing.
Now, the last question. What if 20 years from now, some Stanford MBA is writing a case study, Orchestro AI, when values met valuations? What is the one decision you will make that nobody knows about, that determines whether that case study is taught in the success section or in the failure section?
Well, success and failure is relative. Like, you know, success to you or success to me may look like failure to you. You know, it's perspective, in the sense like I may think that, you know, I gave an effort and yes, I'm successful because I gave it an effort, right? It may be a failure to you because the shareholder value was not created on the other side. Okay, so it is just like perspective hai. So if you keep that aside, there are many times I could have taken a shortcut. The best shortcut I could have taken is I could have stayed in American Eagle, and I was the second highest paid executive in American Eagle, and I never had to retire out of American Eagle for the next 25 years, and I would have like walked away being a half billionaire. Okay, and I never had to work. All I have to do is 9 o'clock जाना है, 5 बजे वापस आना है. 4 हफ्ता मुझे वेकेशन लेना है. 1 हफ्ता जाऊंगा हवाई, 1 हफ्ता जाऊंगा नेदरलैंड्स, 1 हफ्ता जाऊंगा लाइक जर्मनी, एक दूसरा हफ्ता आ जाऊंगा यहाँ पे इंडिया. सिर्फ मुझे वो करना था. But I did not want to leave that life at all. I did not want to do that. I wanted to escape the prison of success, which had no meaning. No meaning to me. So I chose this intentionally. And many times in this journey, there were like many deals I get. Every time like someone wants to buy me. And I say no to them. Right? Someone wants to invest in me. I say that is not good money. Someone says like, we should like move the company this way. I say no to that. Probably all of those things are the best things that I should have done. And I would not know this now. I would know it in 2035, 10 years from now. कि क्या क्या डिसीजन मैं ले सकता था जो मैंने नहीं लिया. Right? So time is going to tell me whether like all the choices I made are good choices or bad choices. But you know what? I made those choices. And I have to live with the consequences. And I'm fine with it. देखो मैं गया था यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स $34 लेके. 2 हफ्ता सोया मैं कार में because I did not have money to pay rent. Okay, what is the worst which can happen to me? भिखारी बन जाऊंगा.
You have gone through all this.
So when you have lived that kind of life, you say to yourself ki what the heck is going to happen? So I have become cavalier in many ways, and I don't care. Success, failure, I don't care. But I'll keep trying. I'll keep trying.
Continue.
Because the journey that I'm on, where we can unleash and make invisible people visible, is so important in this world. Because we are surrounded by hate. We need more love. We need to be more human. And we are forgetting that in the world of digital. And we need to bring back what makes us human. And that is the journey I'm on. And if that journey means that I am going to be unsuccessful, but someone is going to be successful, God bless them. I am good.
Your thoughts are amazing. The facts which you shared was truly inspiring and motivating to all the people who are watching this interview.
So, Mr. Shekhar, that's it in this interview. Thank you so much for being with us today. See? Innovation is not accidental, and our next guest is living proof. Mr. Shekhar Natarajan holds 207 plus patents not because he is smarter than everyone else, but because he has built a system for asking questions nobody else thinks to ask. Over 25 years at Coca-Cola, Walmart, PepsiCo, Disney, he did not just execute strategy, he rewrote it. Supply chain innovations, logistics transformations, technologies that became industry standards. But here is what caught my attention. He left all of it to build Orchestro AI and something called Angelic Intelligence. AI that does not just optimize for overcomes. ये paragraphs है. But here is what caught my attention. He left all of it to build Orchestro AI and something called Angelic Intelligence. AI that does not just optimize for outcomes, but optimizes for values. Is this the future of AI? Or is this a brilliant technologist building a solution for a problem the market does not want yet? India has India has a 5-year window, he says, to build AI on its own terms or import California's values forever. That's not nationalism, that's strategy. Today we find out if he is early or if he is right. Mr. Shekhar Natarajan, founder and CEO of Orchestro AI, the business technologist betting India's AI future on virtue, not just velocity. Mr. Shekhar Natarajan ji, welcome to today's interview. How are you feeling today?
Sorry, मिस्टर नटराजन शेखर जी बोला जी